Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we will be making these little bears. We'll be using a number 4 yarn and a 4.25 millimeter hook. For these bears I went with kind of a pastel color for the body and then a darker color for the noses and the little toes. They are mostly no-sew, so we will start with the arms, then we'll do its little tail, and then we'll move on to the head, and we'll be going this way actually. We'll do the head, attach the arms, move up the belly, and then finish his legs. And then we'll make the muzzles and the ears, and those will be sewn on later, as well as the little patch with the little rainbows. And for this video, I'll be doing this, and then down in the description, I will have a little link or a playlist for the little 1-inch heart and clover, and if I can think of anything else that I can make that tiny. The whole reason for making all these bears first is because I'm going to be doing the video in this rainbow Red Heart Super Saver. I don't know if that was the best plan or not because I had to make all 6 of them first. But if I can ignore that it doesn't actually stripe in the right order of the rainbow, then I think we'll be okay. And just like most of my videos, this is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you. If you get lost or stuck or anything, there will be a drop-down menu at the beginning of each row for about 30 seconds that you can refer back to if needed. And like always, if you are new to my channel or you haven't already done so, you can help me out by hitting the subscribe button. You will also be notified every time I load a new video. Okay, I know that was a super long one, but I think I'm finally done. So grab your yarn and let's get started. Okay, for the arms, you're going to make your knot with the loop on the end. Insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull up and through, and chain 1. And remember that is just to attach your yarn to the loop. That does not count as a stitch. And for row 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, you're going to do 6 increases, so that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase, 9 and 10, and our last increase, 11 and 12. Rows 3 and 4, you're just going to do 12 single crochets all the way around, and I'm going to do those consecutively. So I'm going to do 12 and keep on counting to 24 for my 2 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that was my first row of 2. I'm going to flip my marker and keep on counting. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. For row 5, we are going to do 1 puff stitch of 4 and then 11 single crochets all the way around. And if you struggle with this next stitch, you can just do a single crochet. You just won't have a thumb on your little bear. Alright, so you're going to wrap your yarn around your hook, go in your first stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, wrap around again. So that was 1, this will be 2. Go in your same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through. That was 2. Wrap your yarn, go down and through that same stitch, grab your yarn, come up and through. That was 3, and one more time. Wrap your yarn around your hook, go into that same stitch, grab your yarn and pull up and through. And now you're going to grab your yarn and you're going to go through all the loops left on your hook. Pull it tight, and then we're just going to continue on into the next stitch with a single crochet, and you may have to push your thumb up and out and pull that tight. So your puff stitch was 1, your single crochet was 2, and we're just going to keep on counting till we get all the way around. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Row 6, we're just going to do 12 single crochets all the way around, and make sure you're getting in the right stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Row 7, you're going to do 4 single crochets, then a decrease. Repeat that around for a total of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease for 5, and then repeat that. 6, 7, 8, 9, and a decrease for 10. Rows 8 to 12, we are just going to do 10 single crochets all the way around, and I am going to count them all consecutively. So 5 rows of 10, 10 times 5 is 50, and I'm just going to flip my marker every time I hit a set of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip my marker and keep on counting. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Flip my marker, keep on counting. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Flip the marker and keep on counting. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, whoops, 38, 39, and 40. Flip the marker. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and 50. So that was our 5 rows of 10. And now we have to get around to this back side here. My first one I had 7. The other 5 I think I went to 9. So make sure your thumb is over on this side to the left, and you're ending over here on the right. So to me, it's the second last stitch, so I'm going to be going around 9 times, but you want to end right here and tie off on the side. So I'll be doing 9, you'll be doing somewhere between 7 and 9. And then that way our thumb will be pointing the right way, even with both arms. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And just fold it over and double check that when you start going across here, you line up those stitches, your thumb is nice and flat on the side. Grab your stuffing, and I like to grab enough for both arms so they're even when I get done the second one. And I'm going to put quite a bit down in the paw of the arm and then very lightly up into the top of the arm. So you want that arm to kind of puff out in a circle. Just make sure you're not stuffing it so tight that you're splitting your stitches, and you'll know because you'll start seeing stuffing coming out like right there. And then just put, actually I'm not going to put quite all that in there. Just put a little bit up the arm. Put your hook back in. You can get rid of your stitch marker now if you want to. And we're going to put 3 stitches across, and because we have more than 3 stitches, we are going to do 1 single crochet, a decrease, and a single crochet. So put your hook in that next stitch, and then you're going to go in the matching stitch on the other side. And you're just going to do a single crochet. Now you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to do 1 decrease. Make sure you get through both sides. And then 1 single crochet in the last one. And then you can tie that off. Leave yourself, I don't know, about 6 to 8 inches. They aren't being sewed on, but I do something with the strings at the end that kind of help out with the arms. Okay, so if you've just finished your first arm, I will put a little screenshot in the next frame with a timestamp so you can go back and do your second arm. If you have already finished your second arm, just keep on watching and we will move on to the next part. For the tail, you're going to start with your knot with the loop on the end, or however you prefer to start. Insert your hook, grab your yarn, pull up and through, and make your chain 1 to secure that yarn to your loop, remembering that does not count as a stitch. And you're going to, for row 1, put 8 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Probably don't need a stitch marker for this one, it's just 3 rows. But for a video, I am going to use one just so you can see what I'm doing. For rows 2 and 3, you're just going to do 8 single crochets all the way around. So I'm going to do 16 single crochets and flip my marker when I hit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, flip my marker, that's 1 row of 2, and keep on counting, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And then you're just going to fold that in half, and you're going to do 3 single crochets across. So in your next stitch, and the matching stitch on the other side, 1, 2, and 3. Then you're just going to tie that off. Leave just enough of a tail to tuck that, tuck that inside of your guy when you put them on. And we will move on to the next part. Okay, for the head, you're going to make your little knot with the loop on the end, or however you like to start when you're doing crochet in the round. Insert your hook, grab your yarn, and chain 1, remembering that that does not count as a stitch. That is just to attach your yarn to the loop. And for round 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets into the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Row 2, we're going to do 6 increases, so that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, and our last increase 11 and 12. Row 3, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, and our last increase, 17 and 18. Row 4, we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, increase, 3 and 4, 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, and your increase, 23 and 24. Row 5, you're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, increase, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, increase, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18, increase, 19 and 20, whoops, yep, 21, 22, 23, and an increase, 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29, whoops, and 30. Row 6, we are just going to do 30 single crochets all the way around. So 1 single crochet in every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Row 7, we're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. Oops. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase 5 and 6. Sorry, I was thinking how well this yarn is doing considering I've used half of it a million times. Okay, so that was 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase 11 and 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase 17 and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and an increase 23 and 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase 29 and 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and an increase 35 and 36. Rows 8 to 11 are just going to be 36 single crochets all the way around. I am going to be a good girl and I'm going to use my row counter. So row 8, row 7 we just did. All right, so 36 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. I flip my counter. I always do it, I don't know if I do it backwards, but I do the row I finished. So I just finished row 8, so I have 8 completed is how I do mine. So I'm starting row 9 now, another 36. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So that was my 9th row. I'm done. We're starting row 10. Another 36 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So that was row 10 we finished, and now we're ready to start row 11, another 36 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and 36. So that was row 11. Row 12, we're going to kind of make little puffy cheeks. So I am going to separate this row into parts when I write it up at the top. We're going to have a total of 42 stitches. And we are going to start with 8 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to do 3 increases across the next 3 stitches. So 1 increase, 2 increases, and 3 increases. Now we're going to do 14 single crochets across the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoops, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now we're going to increase again, 3 increases, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. So increase, that's 1, increase again, that's 2, and 1 more increase for 3 increases. And then we should have 8 single crochets to get across back to our marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Rows 13 and 14 is just going to be 42 single crochets all the way around, and I am going to count them consecutively. So what is that, 84, and I'll just flip my marker when I hit my first 42. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, yay, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So that's one row of 2. I'm going to flip my marker and just keep on counting. 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, and 84. Row 15, we are going to do 5 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 36. Right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and a decrease for 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and a decrease for 36. Row 16, you're going to do 4 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a decrease for 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and a decrease for 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, and a decrease for 25. Whoopsie. 26, 27, 28, 29, and a decrease for 30. Row 17, you're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that around for a total of 24. 1, 2, 3, and a decrease for 4. 5, 6, 7, and a decrease for 8, 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, and a decrease for 16, 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24. Row 18, we're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, 2, and a decrease for 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, and a decrease for 18. Okay, now we are going to attach the arms. So this will be row 19, and we're going to begin with 5 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Grab your first arm and making sure that the string and the thumb are pointing to the front. So where your stitch marker is the back, and this is your front. Whoops. You're going to do 3 single crochets across through the arm and through the head. And be very careful you're going in the right stitch, because it's easy to go in the same stitch or to skip a stitch. So 1 through the arm and through the head, 2 and 3 through the arm and through the head. Now you're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab your other arm, and this time it's going to be facing the other way. So towards the front. Here's your back. And you're going to put 3 single crochets through the arm and the head, just like you did with the other one. 1, 2, and 3, and you should have 1 stitch left. 1 single crochet. Row 20, you're going to do 2 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. Okay. So 1, 2, increase, 3 and 4. 5, 6, and an increase, 7 and 8. 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12, and make sure you don't go over these strings. You want them on the outside for later. 13, 14, increase, 15 and 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19, and 20, 21, 22, and an increase, 23 and 24. Row 21, you're just going to do 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Row 22, you're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. 1, 2, 3, and an increase, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, and an increase, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, and an increase, 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, and an increase, 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. Oops, I did something. Grabbed an extra piece or something. 30. Rows 23 to 28, we're just going to do 30 single crochets all the way around. And I'm going to split that in 2. So I'm going to do 3 rows of 30, which is 90. And then I'm going to do a second set of 3 rows, which is again 90. So I'm going to count to 90 twice, flipping my marker every time I hit a set of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Flip your marker if you're using one. Keep on counting. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, flip your marker if you're using one and keep on counting. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90. So that was our first 3 rows of 6. So I'm going to start again at 1 and go to 90 for my up to my 6th row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Flip your marker and keep on going. How am I going to do this knot? All right, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, flip your marker, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90. So there is our 6 rows of 30. Row 29, we're going to add our tail. Just before you do, just double check you're kind of in the same spot as I am. So just fold your guy down so he's kind of, you find the sides so his arms are even, and then go down your sides. We're going to do 3 single crochets and then add the tail. So the tail is going to go right here. So if it looks like yours is in the center, just follow along with me. If it looks like yours is over here or over here, depending on where you ended your row, just adjust your stitches so you have 3 single crochets in the middle for your tail. Alright, so we're going to do 3 single crochets, or whichever your number is. 1, 2, 3. Grab your tail, and you want him pointed down, and you're going to go through the tail and through the body, and you're going to do that 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And I haven't found a use for this little piece of tail, so I just tuck it in side and go over it so it can just hang out in there. Should have 24 single crochets left, and I'm just going to continue counting. So we had 3 and another 3, so that was 6. So this will be number 7, and we need 30 total single crochets. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Rows 30 to 32 is just 30 single crochets all the way around, so that's 3 rows. So we're just going to count to 90 again and flip our marker every time we hit a set of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Flip your marker. Oh, and I think I'm finally to a point. Oh no, I'm not. I thought it was where I hadn't seen yet, but I still got a ton of thread left in my box. Okay, so keep on going. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, flip your marker, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 90. Oh yeah, there's more knots, so I'm still where I cut and whatever I did. So before we go any further, I am going to add the eyes. And you want to have your cheeks out to the side so you know where they are. You can kind of see the indent of your increases. And I'm going to put a little bit of stuffing up at the top. This one, it kind of matters how you stuff it. Even though I made those increases, I'm not good yet at trying to figure out the shape. So I put quite a bit up into the top. And then I'm going to put a little bit over to each side. Just to kind of push those cheeks out, to give it a little bit of a help. Just watch you don't stretch your stitches too much, because you can make it quite wonky looking. So just for now, because all this stuffing will be coming out after, so I can put the eyes in. And they're going to go between rows 10 and 11. So find your first center loop, and you're going to count down 10 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right in between 10 and 11. is where you want to mark. Using the 6 stitches between your arms, 1, 2, 3, so right there, and the center of your head, just kind of try and eyeball the center. I think I was better off where I was. The center of your face. And I'm using 14mm eyes. And I'm going to go 3 holes over on each side. So 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And just kind of double check that your arms are and your face is all centered and looking right. And if you're happy with that, take your stuffing out. You might be able to just take the 2 cheek sides out. I can't because I put one huge piece in. Oh, maybe that'll work. And then let's put the backs on. Now if you aren't using safety eyes, you can do just a loop with 6 single crochets in it for a little black circle. If you want to sew eyes on. I'm not 100% sure if you'll get quite the same look. Where's them clicks? There's one click anyway. But me personally, I like the looks of the safety eyes over my own crocheted eyes. Okay. So once you have those in, restuff your head. And this time you want to make sure you have it how you want it for the final stage, and be careful of stretching the stitches. Oh, the stuffing leaves little pieces everywhere. It's all over this now. I think you can't see it, but I can see it. Okay, so one side puffed out. And then the other side. And we will be doing a little bit of shaping, so don't worry if it's not perfect or exactly how you think it should be yet. Just make sure the overall shape kind of comes down, a tiny little puff out, and where's my other piece of stuffing? I'm going to put a little bit up in the center. Now I'm starting to stretch those stitches, so I got to be careful. And it will look funny. It won't, you'll wonder if you're doing it right, but. And then just put a little bit in the body. Just enough to puff it out, but not so much that it's going to be in your way when you do the legs. All right, now we're going to add the legs, and we need to do a little bit of work here. So we're going to fold it down so it's nice and even, and find the sides. So using the arms and your eyes. And what you want to have is 15 stitches on each side. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I started here. I'm just going to turn it just a touch. So starting on the first stitch on this side, you're going to count over 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these 7 are going to be your first leg, and these from your 8th going around will be your second leg. So I'm just going to put a little marker in there. Whoops, I forgot what needle I had in there. And starting with this 8th stitch, you're going to count around 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And now you're going to just mark that. Am I through both? No, I'm through one. I'm just going to have to rethread your needle if you're doing it the way I am. If you're using stitch markers, you'll just mark that. And then you're just going to tie that. So the 2 stitches you tied and all the stitches on this side are going to be your second leg, and you're not going to touch any of them until you have your first leg done. Alright, so get your hook back in, and I pulled out a stitch, so I just got to replace that stitch I pulled out. Okay, here comes the awkward part for me. Now you're going to do 4 rows of 15. Whoops. So that's going to be 60 stitches all the way, and I'll flip my marker. I'm going to do the first row fairly slow. So in your first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you don't go in that stitch that you marked or the stitch on the other side. Oops. The stitch that you marked or the other stitch that you marked. You're going to go on this, turn it around and go the stitch just in front of it. So if that's where you tied off, you're going to be going in this stitch. So this will be number 7. Pull that tight. I don't know where to have my camera here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Flip your marker and keep on counting. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, flip your marker, oh, that's where I had a knot, I think, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, flip your marker, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. So that's your 4 rows of 15. Row 5, you're gonna do, these lights in my way. I'm sorry. 4 single crochets, 1 increase for a total of 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. Whoops. Oh yeah, for 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase for 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase 17 and 18. Flip your marker. And row 6, you're just going to do 18 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Now to make it easier, we're going to pin this foot down, or leg, and then we're going to do this foot and finish it, and then we'll come back and finish this. So what I have figured out is one single crochet is about 1 wrap around my hand. But just to be safe, I'm going to use 2 fingers, and we have 18 stitches left. I think we have 12 decreases and 6 single crochets. So I'm just going to wrap around 18 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And we'll have more than enough. If you're worried, cut down a bit. And then you're going to stick that all inside and out of your way. Kind of forget about it for now. And then if you have a darning needle or pins, whatever you can find, we're just going to pin that leg down out of our way while we start on the other side. Okay, so grab your yarn, and we are going to make a knot with a loop on the end again, but this time leave yourself a bit of a tail so we can sew the little hole that's going to be left between the legs. Alright, so we want the back facing us. If you know what you're doing, you take out your stitch markers. I'm just going to leave this in. So anyone that's doing this for the first time or hasn't quite gotten it, they can see what I'm doing. So where your back side stitch marker is, you're going to insert your hook. And you're just going to do a slip stitch just to attach that yarn. And we're going to do our 4 rows of 15 again. So starting in that same stitch that you just slip stitch, 1. And it's going to be awkward, so just take your time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then you should be back in that first stitch you marked on the front for 15. I'm just going to use that as my new stitch marker. Don't go over this tail that you had to begin with, because that is, you want that on the outside. Now you're going to flip around to the back, and you're going to start your second row of 15, remembering that this has 2 stitches. So there's your slip stitch, and under this B right here, that's where you're going to want to start your next row. So let's do our first single crochet. Oops, I think I didn't put my stitch marker in there. Oh, it doesn't really matter to wrap it around. Anyway, sorry. Okay, single crochet, pull that nice and tight. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So that's 2 rows of 15. And when you go into this next stitch, remember you pulled really tight on your first stitch, so make sure you don't miss going in that first stitch right down in there. Purple is hard to see. So 1, jeez. Try and help and it does nothing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that was 3 rows of 15, and now our last 4th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Row 5, we're going to do our 4 single crochets and 1 increase for a total of 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and an increase, 17 and 18. And then row 6, you're just going to do 18 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, here's another knot coming. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, oopsie, and 18. And you can unpin your other leg. Okay, so now we are going to put some stuffing up into the leg and the tummy on both sides. If I can get in there. Oh yeah, make sure you take your extra thread out of there. So you want to kind of puff out his tummy evenly on both sides. And then you want his legs to be a bit on the firm side, so he'll stand. And you want it to be flat across the top here. I think that's enough on that side. Let's do this side. I do have quite a bit in there, so hopefully not too much. Okay, now we're going to be going in the back loop. And if you've never gone in the back loop before, when you normally crochet, I'm just going to show you on this side, there's no space there. You go through, under through both sides of the V. If you're doing the front loop, you grab this front and you come up through the middle of the V. And if you're doing the back loop, you go down through the V and under that back loop right there. And what this is going to do is it's going to make your bottom flat, so he'll be easier to stand up. So get your hook back in. So many strings everywhere. That's the only part about doing it this way. They're so fiddly. All right, so for row 7, in the back loop, you're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 decrease for a total of 12. And take your time. So 1, decrease. Oh, shoot, I can't get it. 2, I can't twist around the camera always when I get to this part. 3, and a decrease for 4, 5, and decrease for 6, 7, and decrease for 8, 9, and decrease for 10, 11, and decrease for 12. And then row 8, you are just going to do 6 decreases. And now you're going normal through under both sides of the V. So 1 decrease, 2 decreases. I wonder if I put my camera up more, if that's part of my problem. There we go. 3 decreases. 4 decreases. 5 decreases. And 6 decreases. And then you're just going to slip stitch into the next stitch. And tie that off, leaving a little bit of a tail to go around and then down and out to tie in the back. I'm going to get rid of this stitch marker. And now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. One single crochet, 1 decrease, repeat that round all the way around for a total of 12. And this is row 7, I believe, in the back loops. So 1 in the back loops, decrease for 2, 3, decrease for 4, 5, decrease for 6, 7, decrease for 8, 9, decrease for 10. $11 and decrease for 12. And then row 8, you're just going to decrease 6 decreases all the way around, and this time you will go normally underneath both of the V's. So 1 decrease, 2 decreases, 3 decreases, 4 decreases, 5 decreases, 6 decreases. And then you're just going to slip stitch in the next stitch. And tie that off, leaving a bit of a tail. And I'm going to get rid of this stitch marker. Thread your darning needle with one of your leg strings. And now we're going to close them off. And you're just going to weave in and out of the top loop of your last round. Pull it tight. And then tie a knot somewhere in the center. There we go. Go through the center again and come out the back somewhere close to the bottom. And do the same for the other leg. Thread your needle. And weave in and out of the top loops. Pull it tight. Tie your knot. Go down through the center and then come out in the same spot you brought your other leg string out. And we can do those now. So now what you want to do is you want to pull those strings so that your leg, the bottom of your foot is nice and flat. Give them a tie. I'm going to do mine twice, I think. Whoops. Maybe 3 times, looks like. And then let's grab this tail and we'll sew the hole between the legs. And you're just gonna go, oh, it's hard to see, so these 2 stitches on this side and the 2 matching stitches on this side. You're just going to weave in and out, making sure you have that bar in between when you go back and forth. And you just go about 2 or 3 times. And I think that's going to be enough for me. And then try and tie it. Now, I don't know if I can do this without breaking this needle, but let's see. So you're going to go under the stitch, right close. Oh shoot, I'm bending it pretty good. And then tie your knot. And then hide that up inside out the back. And then we just have the arms. Ooh, look what I did to his poor little head. Thread one of your arm strings. And you're going to go down right where it attached the last stitch. You're going to go down in through there. You can come back out the center of the neck somewhere. And do that with the other arm. Thread your needle. And you're going to go in the same stitch you ended. Double check. Sometimes your row bounces around. So I'm going to go down here. And then come out in the same hole that your other string came out. And you're going to tie that once. Now carefully turn it around so you don't cross those strings. And now you're going to pull them so that your arms kind of come in. Whoopsie. And just pull them tight till they're where you want them. And then you'll tie them in the back. Rethread your needle. And you'll just hide those back inside. And what that does is it makes it so your arms aren't quite as floppy and loose where they join. Now just cut all your threads. All right, let's do the ears now. You're going to make your knot with the loop on the end. Insert your yarn or your hook. Grab your yarn, chain 1. Remember that doesn't count as a stitch. That is just to attach your yarn. And now you're going to do 8 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for round 2, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 12. One and an increase, 2 and 3, 4 and an increase, 5 and 6, 7 and an increase, 8 and 9, 10 and an increase, 11 and 12. Rows 3 and 4, you are just going to do 12 single crochets all the way around, and I'm just going to count consecutively 12 and then 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Flip your marker. Keep on counting. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Now you're going to fold it in half, and you're going to do 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, so you have 3 stitches going across. So insert your hook in the next stitch, then in the matching stitch behind, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet, and 1 decrease. Then you're going to tie that off, leaving enough of a tail to sew that on. Okay, so if you've just finished your first ear, I will put a screenshot in the next frame with a timestamp to go back and do the other ear. If you've done your second ear already, just keep on watching and you will go to the next part. All right, for the muzzle, make your knot with the loop on the end. Insert your hook, grab your yarn, chain 1. Remember that does not count as a stitch. It is just to attach the yarn to your loop. And for round 1, you're going to do 6 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, you're going to do 6 increases. So that's 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase, 1 and 2, increase, 3 and 4, increase, 5 and 6, increase, 7 and 8, increase, 9 and 10, and increase, 11 and 12. Row 4, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. 1, increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16 and an increase, 17 and 18. And row 5, you're just going to do 18 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. And then just slip stitch in the next stitch, tie that off, and leave enough of a tail to sew that on. Alright, grab whatever color you're going to use for the little nose. And you're going to go up 1, 2 rows. Leave a little bit of string on the other side. Then you're going to go into the center. And then you're going to go over 2 holes. So if that's 1, 2. And then just keep going back and forth like that. I think I usually did 4 to 6 times. So this will be twice. This will be 3 times. I definitely need to go a couple of more. This will be 4 times. This will be 5 times. We're getting pretty close. I might go one more time. And this will be 6 times. And then you'll give that 1 tie. Well, not 1, but you'll give that a tie. And then you're going to come up. Or maybe let's go this way. Come down and around. And then in through that center hole. And then you're going to tie that again. And I cut that off pretty short because it's all going to be on the inside. Okay, for the little tummy patch, you're going to make your knot with the loop on the end. Insert your hook, grab your yarn, and chain 1. And that does not count as a stitch, that just attaches your yarn. And now you're going to do 6 single crochets into the loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, you're going to do 6 increases. So you're going to put 2 stitches in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, and your last increase 11 and 12. Row 3, you're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase, 5 and 6, 7, increase 8 and 9, 10, increase 11 and 12, 13, increase 14 and 15, 16, increase 17 and 18. Row 4, you're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, increase 3 and 4, 5, 6, increase 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase 11 and 12, 13, 14, increase 15 and 16, 17, 18, increase 19 and 20, 21, 22, and our last increase 23 and 24. For row 5, so we can keep it kind of in a circle instead of going in more of a hexagon shape, we're going to do our increases first. So we're going to do an increase and then 3 single crochets, repeat that all the way around, and my brain is not used to that. It's just used to doing the increases at the end, so let's see if we can do it at first try here. So increase 1 and 2, and then 3 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, and we'll just repeat that all the way around for a total of 30. So increase 6 and 7, and then single crochet, 8, 9, excuse me, and 10. Increase 11 and 12, single crochet, 13, 14, 15. Increase 16 and 17, single crochet, 18, 19, 20. Increase 21 and 22. Single crochet 23, 24, 25. This should be our last set. Increase 26 and 27, and single crochet 28, 29, and 30. And then you're just going to slip stitch and tie that off, giving yourself enough of a tail to sew this all the way around. Give myself a bit of a longer tail here. Okay, so let's put the muzzle on. So you're just going to grab a little bit of stuffing, squish it down inside. Hold your nose kind of where you think you want it. And grab your pins. So huge blue. And so what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to pin the top of the nose right between where we put our eyes in. And then on the bottom, we'll put our next pin, and I'm not placing it in any particular row. I'm just kind of letting it fall wherever it naturally falls. And then just stick your pin in. Have a look. Put one on the side, and they're kind of lining up about midway past the eye. Match that up on the other side. Oops, I can't left-hand it. There we go. Have another look. Make sure you're happy. And then just start putting pins just kind of all the way around. And if you have trouble pinning, I find that if you go down and then pull your pin to the side and push it in like that, it will be a lot more secure. That's probably enough. Don't be scared of putting a pin in every stitch if you need to. The last thing you want to do is have it lined up exactly how you want it, get sewing, and then find out that it's moved around on you and it's crooked. Your main thing is you want this line to be coming straight down and your heart to be pointing up to the top. Alright, so thread your needle. And you're going to start by going down under where your first knot is, where you ended off here, where your tail is. And then come up your first stitch. Then you're going to go down in the next stitch, grab a little bit, watch that stuffing isn't coming out. Grab a little bit of a bar of one of the rounds underneath. And you want to make sure that you are underneath the white part of your mouth so you don't see your stitches. Every time I go around that arm. So back down the next stitch and under a row. come up the next stitch. Don't forget to pay attention. Make sure your mouth hasn't moved anywhere on you. While we're doing this, if I were to do this again in rainbow colors, I didn't realize how badly it actually striped. Like there's absolutely no green in here except for this top little spot because it goes backwards. I would divide my rows, so I think I have 36 rows, not counting the bottom of the feet. If I was going to do the 6 colors of the rainbow, I think I would just divide that. So I'd be doing 6 rows of every color and just choose my own colors. And if I wanted to add pink and do the 7 colors, then I would divide that. And what would that be? 5 rows of every color. Because it's not like it stripes in kind of an ombre. It just goes right to the next color. So you could easily just do your color changes in the back. Keep checking that your mouth is even. And another thing I noticed, if you're doing the rainbow one, when I got to about the neck and the arms, I realized when I go to sculpt this, I have no idea what color to use. Because it's orange here, but it's purple down here where I'm going to put my probably orange thread. If you're doing all one color, none of that is going to even matter. Oops, how long have I been out of frame here? I might have moved that one over a bit too far. Let's see. No, it'll work. Just gotta grab that piece there. Okay, we're almost done here, so just double check before you get tying it off. And what I like to do at the end is I'm going to come over into my first stitch. And then go back across into my last stitch and just kind of pull that together where we did our slip knot. And you want to catch a piece of white from down below and tie your knot probably a couple of times. Nice and tight. And then you'll thread that out the back somewhere. Whoopsie, what happened? And cut it off. Save this end because you could probably use that for around the eyes if you're going to be doing that. All right, now we'll get to the ears. And you have 3 stitches, and you're going to need to go on 3 stitches of your head. So I'm going to put mine on the 4th stitch down. So kind of in the center, going over towards the arms. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and put your first pin in there. And then you're going to do 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to go in your 3rd stitch and your 3rd row, lining them up so they're kind of like this from the arm to the center of the head when you look at it this way. Whoops, my pin came out. Sorry, it's hard to show you on here, but 1, 2, 3, 4. So thread your needle. And then you're going to come under where that pin is and catch that bar and go up and through. And then you're going to go through that first single crochet. And I wasn't quite happy with this little bump here, so I go through it one more time through the same stitch under the bar and back up and through. And then I take a little piece up here in that next row above where we single crocheted. And I'm just going to pull that down, and then my ear is a little more rounder instead of having that floppy bump. And we're going to go into our 2nd row, so the next row down. Oops, it came out. Around that bar and then out. And then through your 2nd single crochet. And I only do this one time. And then we're going to go through the 3rd stitch in the next row, or the 3rd row, I guess, and the 3rd stitch of the ear. And again, I didn't like this little piece being left alone, so I do that again in that 3rd row. And then I go up into here, 1 row, and then bring that back down. One, 2, 3. And I'm going to put that through one more time just to tighten that down. And then go back and we'll tie that off. So go around your last row you were in. Whoops. And tie your knot. And you only need one because we're going to be tying this again to the other ear. So you put that in and come out the center somewhere of the head. And then we'll move on to the other ear. So this is where it kind of gets tricky because you want to make sure your ears are even. So with your string up at the top again, like we just did on the other one, you're going to count down your 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. And just kind of look at it from the top towards the arms and kind of judge how even you are. And then put your other pin in the 3rd row down and the 3rd stitch. And then just have a look at it. So this definitely needs to come up 1. Look at it this way. Make sure it's kind of even with the arms. And even across here. I think that's pretty close. So I'm ready to thread my needle. Whoops. These pins do a great job, don't they? So in that bar in the 4th row, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go around. Through your first single crochet, and if you did what I did on the other side and I did another one, make sure you match that. And you're going to go up a row and pull that piece down. Then you're going to go to your 3rd row and your 3rd stitch. If your pin keeps falling out like mine does, you can actually just leave it down here just so you know what you're doing. 1, 2, 3, okay. So one time in that 3rd stitch, and then, or 2nd stitch, sorry, and then in your 3rd stitch, and 3rd row. I know I keep calling the row a stitch, but I hope you see what I mean. And since I went up in this one, I'm going to go up on this one, just so they're both exactly the same. And then just back out so you can tie it. Go under that row. And make your knot. And then go through and come out where your thread came out. Now we're going to do the exact same thing we did with the arms. So make sure you have your stitches on, so this is this ear and this is this ear. Somehow they're twisted around. Okay, so tie it one time. Make sure you keep your threads on the right sides. Let's see if I can reach this. Okay. And now you're just going to pull them in. And it'll kind of shape the head at the same time. And mine are really tight, so I'm just going to help it out a bit. There we go. Remembering it will relax a bit after you tie it. Just because you're not going straight across. So thread your needle. And then you're going to pull that out, down, and hide it in the middle somewhere out the back. Twisted his nose a little bit somehow. Whoopies. Okay. Okay, let's sculpt his face right now. I'm going to use orange because that's what color his eyes are on, and hope that it doesn't show up too bad on the bottom. So just take a scrap piece of your main color or whatever color you need to use so you don't see it right here. You're going to come in between the eyes somewhere, and you're going to come out at a 45-degree angle to the nose and the eye. So this stitch right in here is where I want to come out. So just like that. Leave some thread on this side, and then you're going to go one stitch over as close to under the eye as you can get. Flip your bear around, and you want to come out, so you're coming out one of these two stitches, and then you're going to come up and over to match on the same side. You're going to come up over here or here, and you're going to go down over here or here. So I think because here's my center, so I think I'm going to come out straight down through this stitch, which means I got to come over to this stitch. Actually, matching the eyes up, it'll be this stitch. And we're going to come up right under the eye, so opposite of what we did on the other side. If you leave these loose, you can always play around with them. If you pull them tight, it's a little harder to find. And then you want to come on your 45-degree angle, so just around this stitch, and then you're going to come out where you started. Now I'm only doing this once with one piece of thread. If you want to come back in later and secure that so it's a little stronger, that's probably what I would do. And so I don't break my thread. I kind of push my eyes down and my head down, and then I pull it, and it just kind of brings it in a bit. Give that a tie, and then you can pull it again. Let's see, this doesn't slide very good. I'm scared I'm going to break it. So push it down, tie. Ooh, I heard something not good. If you're happy with the shape you have, keep that fairly tight, and then give it 2 or 3 more ties. And what that does is it brings your eyes in a bit, and it puffs out these little cheeks a lot more, and it just gives it a kind of cuter look, I feel. So thread your needle. Oh, I put the wrong one on. Shoot. I have to be careful. And then just thread that out the back. have to just kind of close that hole up, pushing it around. Okay, cut those ends. Now let's do the little eyebrows. I'm just taking my longest purple scrap that I had from making this earlier. I forgot I was going to use black, so now since I didn't do the nose black, I might as well do the eyes to match the nose. Okay, so you're going to start just whatever stitch is just kind of above and to the inside of your eye. You're going to go under 1, 2, 3, 4 holes and come out the 5th, assuming your eyes are all even and the same as mine. So you're going to want something that looks sort of like this, and that is going to be the front of your eyebrow. Leave some string on this side to go down and then come up to the center. And then you're going to count over about 3 holes, 1, 2, 3, and then go down a row, and you're going to come out somewhere in the center between his eyebrows. And don't pull those too tight. You want them to stay on the looser side. So then thread your other eyebrow side. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to go 1, 2, 3 holes and then down 1 row. And I know they don't always match up nice, and that is part of the reason why we're not pulling these tight. Because when we tie them, we're going to make one a little tighter if we need to. But this one actually looks pretty close. This one might be a little long. I think I'm happy with that as is, which is unusual. So then you're just going to give that a tie, nice and light, so you're not tightening your eyebrows unless you need to, and then give it a bit of a pull. And then you're just going to put that string out the back. Oh, come on. I really miss my old needles, I can tell you that. I did buy a metal one that's curved. Maybe I should try that. But it's short and I like the length. Whoops. Ah! You guys are used to that by now. So go in the same hole that you tied and then out the back. And very lightly take your ends out and pull that knot through. And I'm not going to pull this very tight. I'm just going to get as close as I can. And then I'm going to use the end of my darning needle to kind of tuck that in, just so I don't wreck the shape of the eyebrows. Oh, he's coming together, guys. If you really only knew how many times I have redone this bear in this rainbow color. Let's just say I think I've had this yarn for 9 months, and about every week or two I try again. But I'm really happy with it, so yay. Just wish it looked more rainbowy with the right colors. Okay, grab your scrap of white and we'll put a little bit of white around the eyes. And I've done this a few different ways. Sometimes I went around 1 row of stitches and sometimes I went around 2 rows. So this is around 2 rows, which I like, but it really wants to go down under the eye if you pull it too hard. And then this one is around 1 row. So I'll just let you decide what you want to do, and I'm going to try and go around 2 rows. So I'm going to come just at the top of the eye, as underneath as I can get without it being underneath. Leave some thread on the one side. And then you want to go, oh, I probably should have went through that one. 1, 2, so mine is going to be on the high side here. You know what, I'm going over. So I'm going on the outside of the eye. Whoops, I got the wrong needle in there. Darn it. I wonder if you could crazy glue the ends of those where they break. Or something. Might have to sand it after, but... Okay, so now I'm on the outside of the eye, and I'm going to go around 2 rows. So there's 1, 2. I just want to get nice beside the eye, and then I'm going to have to come over and match that. So I think, I don't know what row I'm on here. So you want to come out the same row you went in. That looks about right. Don't pull this too tight. You can always tighten it a bit later with this top string. And you're going to go up your 2 rows, go in and come out where you started. Remember not to pull that too tight. And then just kind of play with it a bit. I think I'm going to stop there just in case I accidentally pull it when I tie it. So very light tie. Because I will tell you, if you pull it under the eye, it's a little tricky to get out without splitting your yarn, and it's almost worth redoing it instead of trying to fix it. In my experience anyways. Okay, then you're gonna, whoops, oh, I came out. Now let's watch Rhonda thread a needle for half an hour here. Okay. And you're gonna put that in where you came out. Bring it out the back and very, very carefully pull that out. You don't want to pull that white. Oops, I don't know what side to pull here. There we go. Cut that off and do it the same way you just did the eyebrows, so you're not pulling that too hard. Just tuck that in so you can't see it. Okay, now we're ready to do the tummy. And I know a lot of you are probably going to be leaving me right now to go do a different applique. If you're on your way out, I just want to say thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you like my videos, because you will be notified every time I load a new video. And if you're staying with me to put the little rainbow emblem on, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with pink, and if you are making a red bear and use red for your rainbow instead, you'll be doing red instead of pink here. And you're going to go in your second row from the outside, kind of even with your tail facing down and horizontally across your loop that you made at the beginning. Go in one side. Oh, I should have done this an easier way. And then go over and kind of a tad bit of an angle. And you're going to go in on the second row from the outside again over here. And then you want to tie that off. Now, you could do all your colors at once and tie them all at once. But if you want to learn from my own trial and error, it's kind of a mess doing it that way. And all the strings are kind of in your way. So for me, this is the more tedious but easier way to do it. And you're going to want your orange. And we are going to do it the easier way this time. So you're going to go over one, oops, wait, make sure your guide's facing the right way. Go over one hole on this side, and then go back down the same hole on the other side. And the yellow. Maybe it's easier that way. So up through the second row and the next hole, and then down through the same hole on the other side. Oh boy, my camera. Tie that. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to mention I have a Facebook page for my crafts. It's mostly crochet. There's a little bit of sewing. If you ever make anything and you want to share it with me, you can go down into the description and find the link for that. And it will take you there, and you can just find the pinned post that says YouTube share. And then you can just go in the comments there and leave me a photo. You don't have to join or like it or anything. It's all open to the public, I guess is what you'd say. But I love seeing some of your guys' work, especially if you change something. Because I don't really have the best imagination. I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Some super cool things people have done using my patterns as inspiration. A lot of them are in my messages, so you guys can't see them, but quite a few people have posted on that little thing. I do have I have a TikTok and an Instagram, but I don't really use them. I don't know. I had them when it first came out, and I still don't know how to really use it and check notifications. Like Instagram, how long has that been around? 10, 15 years, maybe? Well, for sure 10 anyway. My daughter was still in high school when it came out. That's why I got it. Whoops. And the purple, our last one. I know there's 2 colors of purple in the rainbow, but I always just pick one. There we go. So if you want other appliques for this size of bear, you can leave me a request, but it's really tricky to make it this tiny. So like the heart and the clover are okay. I might be able to make a pumpkin, but like I thought I could make a little sunflower for the yellow one. I might not be able to make one small enough. But I do have viewers that can make some pretty tiny, cute little things, so you may be able to find one on your own you can make. Like I know the one Rainy Bear or Grumpy Bear has a cloud. I don't think I could get a cloud on here. You do always have the option of doing a felt one. That would work. Alright, so let's pin this on. And I like to put the string on the bottom, angle my rainbow a little bit over, up and over. And then you're just going to put your couple of pins on. Make sure it's nice and straight and even. And then you're just going to sew it on like you did the, excuse me, the muzzle. Okay, so I will have the applique for this little 1-inch heart. And then I will have the little applique for this little 1-inch clover. And they'll be in my applique playlist. And then I'm also going to do this little hat. It will probably be in, I think it's called 8-inch doll accessories. If you're subscribed, you should see it somewhere in your news feed or be notified when I load it. And it may even happen before I'm finished loading this. I'm going to start loading this, but it's going to take, I don't know, it'll probably take almost 2 days to load. And then that's happening, I'll be hoping to get the other pieces done. I almost forgot the little tuft of hair at the top. So we're just going to take 3 strands of whatever color. You're going to go down and around one of the front loops just in front of your starting round. Put them around your hook. Pull that through. And then pull them through your big loop you just made. And tighten them up. Not sure purple was the best color here. And then cut them whatever length you feel. Cut longer first. You can always go shorter. And then just kind of tighten that up a bit. Let them kind of fall wherever they want. And there you go. All right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you see anything in the background, I have a YouTube video for everything you see. You can just go to my channel and click on all videos or something, or you can go in and check out all the playlists. Some of them are doubled in there though. So I hope you guys have a great day and happy crocheting.